fan,
Yes.
and now I'm a fan of yours.
Thank you.
How did you happen to enter in the pageant?
Well, a friend of my mother's heard me sing before, and she requested that I entered Miss Talented Teens.
And you just kind of blew them away with your singing, right? Not quite, but you did okay, right?
Yes.
Michelle Doris Thomas was born on September 23rd, 1968, to her mother, Penwa Thomas, and her father, Dennis Thomas. She grew up in Montclair, New Jersey, and actually, her dad was one of the founding members of the group Kool and the Gang. It's that good music right there. And her mom, she was a trained actress, and she was also Michelle's acting coach. And she would often take Michelle with her to like theater performances and practices and things like that. And one day during a practice, Michelle was kind of off to the side singing. She was young and she was singing or whatever. And one of her mom's friends heard Michelle singing. And when she heard her singing, she went to Michelle's mom and was like, hey, like you should enter her into this Miss Talented Teen New Jersey contest. It's like a teen beauty pageant. And she entered the contest and she won. And that was in 1983, and she also got her first television commercial in 1983 as well. And the following year in 1984, she won up to Miss Talented Teen New Jersey by winning the Miss Talented Teen International. That was an event that they was holding in Montego Bay in Jamaica. And it was out of 35 different states. And she beat out everybody. She was number one. She was like 15 at this time. And after she graduated high school in 1987, the following year, she landed her first TV gig when she got the role of Justine Phillips on The Cosby Show, playing the girlfriend of Theo Huxtable, played by Malcolm Jamal Warner, who would later become her actual boyfriend in real life. Even though the relationship didn't work out, they always remained close friends. And Michelle would parlay her Cosby Show role into other acting opportunities for herself. In 1989, she was in a TV show named A Man Called Hawk, and then that same year, she did her first film in a movie called Dream Date. And even though 1990 would be the last year that she would appear on The Cosby Show, the following year in 91, she landed a role in the super underground classic Hanging with the Homeboys. Now, if you know about that one, you a real one. But in 1993, she would finally land the role that she is probably the most known for as the lovable, super energetic, cute Myra Monkhouse, the love interest of Steve Urkel, played by Jaleel White. And according to him, Michelle Thomas was a really sweet person, a really good person. And their relationship was strictly platonic, but she helped him grow a lot during their time together on the show. But even after landing a role on Family Matters, she continued to do other things as well. She was on the TV show Thea. She was in different music videos for like Mint Condition and Drew Hill. She was the guest host on Soul Train for a while. So she was definitely making moves. But in 1998, the show Family Matters came to an abrupt end. And according to Jaleel White, Michelle had kind of fell on some hard times, and had to take like odd jobs to pay the bills. And he also said something very interesting that I seen in this video clip. He said that Michelle's career could have been a lot further along and she would have had a lot more opportunities if she was willing to do certain things within the industry. And I just found that real interesting.
We live in an era now where people are just ferociously out to be a big deal. But there was still enough innocent characters in the 90s Fame game who were just themselves, good people, everybody loved them, and they fell into this life. And Michelle Thomas is that for me. You know, I never had an intimate relationship with Michelle. She really was like a big sister to me. And Michelle Thomas was a part of my confidence building. And she made herself a part of that. And then our relationship just kind of blossomed from there. When the show went down, a lot of realities for a lot of us kicked in. And moving on as an actress, I think Michelle ran into some difficulty. And I remember even for a while she worked as a waitress, and she would work way out, like Palmdale, because she didn't want anybody in LA seeing her have to wait tables. And then obviously she got stomach cancer, and my mom really helped her tremendously as much as she could, but it was just too far along. And like I said, when you know somebody's full journey, what they fought for, what they didn't ask other people for, what they didn't burden other people for, and that big just 34 teeth grin of hers, you just, anytime I mention Michelle Thomas, there's a certain amount of innocence. I'm just taken back to, Michelle had a lot of opportunities to sell her soul to the devil, to start climbing a little faster. And she just wasn't that girl.
Man, that's crazy. You never really know what these people are going through in the entertainment game beyond all of the bright lights. I mean, Michelle was able to land another TV role on the show The Young and the Restless. She played the role of Callie Rogers, and she was also working on the soundtrack as well, because like I said before, she could sing, so she was going to be on the Young and Restless soundtrack. But during her time of filming and trying to be in the studio, she started to feel real sick. She started to get ill, and eventually she went to the hospital, and they diagnosed her with a very rare form of cancer, stomach cancer. And that happened in August of 1997. But what's crazy about it is that she never drank or smoked. She was a vegetarian. So she wasn't living some kind of crazy lifestyle where it made sense. Her diagnosis just didn't make no sense, especially how rare the form of cancer that she had was. And after her diagnosis, Michelle refused chemotherapy treatment because she felt like it would affect her ability to have kids. And Michelle, she really wanted children. So she looked for alternative methods in order to treat her illness. But eventually it got to the point where she had to take all forms of treatment, and it started to really take a toll on her body. And according to her mom, they would give her a sedative that was supposed to put her out for maybe 20 minutes. And she would be asleep for like 4 days. She was a little lady. She was like 5 feet or something. So all of those different treatments, man, I know it take a lot out of you. And they said the tumor that she had, it was like the size of a lemon. And she went through multiple operations in the year 1998. She did in the spring and also in October. After a series of unsuccessful treatments, eventually Michelle just flew home to be with her family for Thanksgiving. And that was in November of 1998. But less than a month later, on December 23rd, Michelle Thomas passed away at Manhattan's Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center. She was surrounded by family and friends and her old boyfriend, Malcolm Jamal Warner. Like I said, they stayed very close, even though their relationship didn't work out. And on December 26, 1998, Michelle was laid to rest in a Muslim-themed funeral at her request, and she was buried in New Jersey. And, you know, Michelle, she always seemed to have such a good heart and an angelic spirit, you know, just from what I was seeing. And everyone who knew her, they all say that as well. And she was taken away from us way, way too soon. And Michelle Thomas was only 30 years old when she died, man. Rest in peace, Queen.